The shocking and scandalous facts about the family of Pablo Escobar. Pablo Escobar, the notorious Colombian drug lord and leader of the Medellin cartel, not only left a mark on the world due to his criminal activities but also cast a long shadow over his family. His family members, including his wife, children, siblings, have led lives filled with controversial, incredible, and intriguing events. Here are 11 of the most shocking and scandalous facts about the Escobar family. Fact number 1. Maria Victoria Henau's arrest. In 2018, Maria Victoria Henao, the widow of Pablo Escobar, was apprehended in Buenos Aires, Argentina, under her assumed name, Maria Isabel Santos Caballero. Her arrest on June 4 by Argentine authorities stemmed from an investigation that linked her to a money laundering network involving Colombian drug dealers. This operation involved laundering approximately $1 million through real estate and a popular cafe in Buenos Aires' upscale Palermo neighborhood. Notably, Henao was only 13 years old when she married Escobar, highlighting the deep and early ties she had with him, which later influenced her life dramatically. Nearly 25 years after Escobar's death, Henao's arrest underscored the lingering impact of his legacy on his family's lives as they continued to grapple with the consequences of his notorious past. Number 2. Juan Pablo's initial desire for vengeance. Juan Pablo Escobar, who reinvented himself as Sebastián Marroquín, lived through the violent peak of his father's criminal empire during his formative years. Following Pablo Escobar's death in a shootout with Colombian National Police on December 2, 1993, an adolescent Juan Pablo was left with a burning desire for retribution. He publicly admitted in interviews and his books that he initially plotted to kill those he believed were responsible for his father's death, including members of the Colombian government and rival cartel members. However, during the mid-1990s, after seeking refuge in Argentina and undergoing a profound personal transformation, he chose to forsake violence. Instead, he pursued a career as an architect and a writer, advocating for reconciliation and peace, and speaking out against his father's violent legacy and efforts to make amends with the families affected by the Medellin cartel. Number 3. Roberto Escobar's betrayal. Roberto Escobar, once a key accountant and co-founder of the Medellin cartel, played a crucial role in managing the cartel's billions of dollars in revenues. However, his allegiance to the cartel took a dramatic turn following Pablo's death. In the late 1990s, after surviving a letter bomb attack that resulted in the loss of sight in one eye, Roberto's loyalties shifted. He decided to cooperate with the DEA and provided insider information about the cartel's operations. This act of turning informant was viewed as a profound betrayal, especially considering his integral role and familial ties within the cartel. Roberto's actions were seen as a direct contradiction to the cartel's code of silence and loyalty, sparking outrage among surviving members and affiliates of the cartel who remained loyal to Pablo Escobar's memory. Number 4. Manuela Escobar's drastic measures for normalcy. Manuela Escobar, the only daughter of Pablo Escobar, has lived a life marked by attempts to distance herself from the shadow of her father's notorious legacy. Born in 1984, Manuela was just 9 years old when her father was killed in a shootout with the Colombian police in 1993. In the years that followed, she and her family fled Colombia and sought refuge under assumed names. Amidst a life filled with threats and fear of retribution, it is reported that Manuela underwent plastic surgery to alter her appearance, a drastic step to safeguard her anonymity. Living under a pseudonym, she has maintained a low profile, far removed from public life, unlike her brother, Sebastián Marroquín. Her story reflects the deep personal impacts of Escobar's life on his children, who continue to grapple with his complex legacy in their pursuit of normalcy. Number 5. Sebastián Marroquín's controversial public appearances. Sebastián Marroquín, formerly Juan Pablo Escobar, has carved out a new identity that starkly contrasts with his father's. Since changing his name after fleeing to Argentina in the mid-1990s, Marroquín has authored several books including Pablo Escobar, My Father, and has been featured in documentaries such as Sins of My Father, which chronicle the life and impact of his father. These public appearances and publications have stirred controversy, especially among the families of Escobar's victims, who argue that Marroquín's actions capitalize on the notoriety of the Escobar name. Marroquin defends his actions as attempts to confront the past openly and educate people on the harsh realities of the drug trade and its repercussions on society. Number 6. The confiscation of Escobar's estates. Following Pablo Escobar's death on December 2, 1993, the Colombian government initiated a massive crackdown on his assets, aiming to dismantle the financial backbone of the Medellin cartel. Among the properties seized was the infamous Hacienda Napoles, a luxurious estate that spanned over 7,000 acres and included a private zoo with exotic animals such as hippos, elephants, and giraffes. These confiscations, carried out under Colombian law aimed at recovering assets acquired through illegal activities, stripped the Escobar family of their vast wealth and properties. While intended to cripple the cartel's operations and financial capabilities, the seizures also left his family in a precarious financial situation, challenging their ability to maintain the lavish lifestyle they were accustomed to during Escobar's reign. This marked a significant turning point for the family, as they had to navigate life without the security and resources that Escobar's empire once provided. Number 7. Maria Victoria Henaú's controversial memoir. Maria Victoria Henaú's memoir, titled My Life in My Prison with Pablo Escobar, published in 2018, provides an intimate look into her life with the notorious drug lord. In this book, Henaú describes herself as an oblivious partner who was unaware of the extent of Escobar's criminal activities. She attempts to depict herself as a victim of her circumstances, forced into a life of crime and secrecy. This narrative sparked significant controversy, especially among the families of the victims of the Medellin cartel, who suffered immense loss due to Escobar's reign of terror. Critics argue that her portrayal attempts to absolve herself of complicity in her husband's dealings, thus rewriting the history and diminishing the suffering of the cartel's victims. Her account faced backlash for allegedly glorifying a criminal while failing to adequately acknowledge the pain inflicted by the cartel. Number 8. Roberto Escobar's legal threats over narcos. In 2016, Roberto Escobar, formerly of the Medellin cartel, threatened to sue the creators of Netflix's Narcos, claiming the series used his brother Pablo's story without the Escobar estate's consent. He demanded $1 billion for intellectual property violations. Additionally, Roberto launched several unconventional business ventures, including a cryptocurrency named Diet Bitcoin in 2018, which he promoted as a safer investment alternative. He also made headlines with an outlandish attempt to initiate impeachment proceedings against then-President Donald Trump in 2019, citing alleged financial discrepancies. These efforts highlight Roberto's ongoing attempts to profit from the Escobar name and his penchant for high-profile publicity stunts. Number 9. The exile of Escobar's family. After Pablo Escobar's death in 1993, his family faced immediate danger from his numerous enemies and the Colombian government. Seeking asylum, Maria Victoria Henaú, along with her children Juan Pablo, now Sebastián Marroquín, and Manuela, attempted to find refuge in countries like Germany, the United States, and Mozambique. However, they were repeatedly denied entry due to the notoriety associated with their family name. They finally found asylum in Argentina under false identities. This period of their lives was marked by immense fear, instability, and the struggle to shed their infamous legacy, as they lived under constant threat of retribution and legal actions. Number 10. Sebastián Marroquín's confrontation with his father's enemies. In an emotionally charged episode from the 2009 documentary Sins of My Father, Sebastián Marroquín, formerly Juan Pablo Escobar, met with the sons of Rodrigo Lara Bonilla and Luis Carlos Galán, both prominent Colombian politicians assassinated on orders from Pablo Escobar in the 1980s. The meeting was part of Marroquín's efforts to seek forgiveness from the families affected by his father's violent campaign against the Colombian state. The encounter was fraught with tension but also offered a platform for dialogue and reconciliation. This moment highlighted the profound and lasting impact of Escobar's crimes on the political landscape of Colombia and the personal agony experienced by both the victims' families and Escobar's own family. Number 11. Escobar's sister's religious redemption. Luz Maria Escobar, Pablo's sister, took a path of redemption by dedicating her life to religious and charitable activities in Medellin, aiming to aid those affected by her brother's violent legacy. Actively involved with the Catholic Church and local charities, she focuses on helping violence victims and promoting community healing. Her efforts represent a personal attempt to counteract the damages inflicted by the Medellin cartel, offering a narrative of transformation and hope.